Do You Know the Way? By the Psychopath. Celestia leaned over the large white balcony of her room to take in the surroundings and sight of Canterlot City. She was having a nice, relaxing moment, enjoying and breathing in the cool air of the morning, accentuated by an ocean sun. Bright lights, but enough clouds that no pony was blinded by her sun. She thought. Funny that I should enjoy this sort of time without my son. She shrugged and leaned back against the white stone railings. There's nothing better, truly. She heaved a satisfied sigh and relaxed. Celestia's staff weren't having such an easy time, however, and it certainly wasn't because of their tasks in such a massive building. No, it was because one of the guards was trying to catch a tiny red creature running about the castle grounds, shouting, "Run away!" The chase led to the castle gardens where rows upon rows of multicoloured flower bushes grew and strong vines climbed the castle walls. The creature was barely high enough to reach a guard's knees, but was wide enough to fill their barrel width. It had a white boomerang shape on the centre of its torso with the tips pointing upwards. On its hands were white gloves with 2 spikes on the knuckles, and upon its head were 4 solid dreadlocks dangling precariously close to its large and bulbous eyes. Its facial features were accentuated by its prominent black nose and big beige-coloured lips. "What is this thing?" the guard shouted angrily. She tripped over her own hooves and tumbled over, sliding face first across the ground. "What's going on out here?" The question came from one of the younger butlers of the Alicorn sisters, complete with a combed back, black mane, and black tuxedo clashing with his bright blue coat. The guard forced her head out of the dirt and spat several times to get the dirt out of her mouth. "Ugh, gross!" she shouted angrily and got to her hooves and pointed towards the gardens. "It's that stupid red gnome thing that kept asking us about the way or something. I was trying to catch it." "The way?" the butler repeated with curiosity. "Yes, it is the way," a voice stated. The guard pointed to the butler's head. "There, it's on your head!" "What?" The butler bounced around anxiously, trying to shake the creature off, but it left on its head and looked up at the mare. "Are you the queen?" it asked. Several more voices echoed in the nearby bushes, repeated, "The queen? The queen, is that he? It is the queen?" Dozens of the red gnomes flooded out from the bushes and from the underground to stop in front of the mare and bounce gleefully. "It is the queen!" one of them chanted joyously. "I'm not your queen!" the guard protested. "Sniff her to know." Repetitive and loud sniffing noises filled every pony's ears as the red gnomish creatures approached the mare, all walking up and bouncing atop each other to sniff her. The guard's reaction was to shudder intensely and gallop away towards the castle entrance. "No! Come back, my queen!" The gnome turned to face his identical ilk. "Come, my brothers, we must chase after the queen. She must know the way. Yes, the way. Let us click in celebration." The swarm clicked their tongues whilst chasing after the mare, running the butler over and crushing him underneath. "Why are you running?" they asked the mare. "Why, are you running?" The guard crashed through the wall and rushed through the entrance in the hallway opposite it. "Help me!" she screamed. The staff cleaning the stairs leading to the second floor stopped their work and watched her rush through the castle with blank stares.
"What was that all about?"
a dusting maid wondered aloud. A butler removing cobwebs from the corners thanks to a tall broom shrugged in response. "A training routine gone awry?" A blue gnome stopped in front of the stallion and stared him in the face. The prior maid stopped her actions and pointed at the gnome with a shaky hoof.
"What in Equestria is that thing?"
she asked. "Do you know the way?" it asked the butler. Said pony looked left and right, confused. "The way?" "Yes, the way. Do you know it?" "You need to have Ebola to know the way," a second blue gnome asked. "Do you speak with the voice of the devil?" a third wondered. "What?" The stallion scampered up against the wall. "It is the voice of the devil. He will show the way." "What are you talking about?" The butler waved a hoof delicately at the gnomes. "Shoo! Go away!" "Go the way!" a red gnome shouted. "He knows the way! Click in celebration!" "What is going on?" the butler screamed. Princess Luna teleported above the ground in the entrance and spoke in her royal Canterlot voice, throwing the gnomes around. "What is going on here?"
"Breakfast!"
she bellowed. The princess noticed one gnome had been thrown into a vase, its stubby legs sticking outwards, grasping it in her magic. The mare pulled the creature out and levitated it towards her. "What manner of creature is this?" she wondered.
It looks kind of cute. In a squishy way.
The gnome sniffed the alicorn, then gasped. My brothers, I have found the queen! It shouted even louder. Quickly, to the queen! The queen! She will show us the way! They all stopped briefly when one of them started sniffing a maid that had just entered the castle. Others quickly joined in and some started to poke and jump around her. My brothers, this is not a lady. This is a trap. Spit on her!
A trap?
The mayor asked innocently. Ah! The mayor was being drenched by angry spits of the little gnomes. As a last-ditch resort, the mayor summoned white magic around her horn, letting loose a spell that flash-throws everything around her in a spherical area. She panted and wiped the spit off of herself, satisfied the spell worked.
Phew, glad that it worked.
She congratulated herself between panicked gasps for air. The maid's pupils gradually shrunk when she noticed that the small gnomes were standing in the dissipating icy mists, their forms unfrozen. We never freeze! They shouted in unison. Their war cry was accompanied by a glowing halo of light floating behind them. Spit on him again! Luna couldn't help but chuckle at the sight of a pony being chased away by dozens of little gnome creatures by being spat on. Juvenile but funny. The princess gasped for air when she had to dodge the golden chandeliers swinging from the ceiling. One of the red gnomes was on it. An orange gnome jumped on the brown railings topped with white spears of the second floor. My brother, he started. Why do you do this? It is not the way. One of the blue gnomes added to the orange's speech. Listen to the commander, he knows the way. No, I do not want to stop. The chandelier gnome shouted. You almost hit the queen. The commander gestured towards Luna. This is my way. There was a long moment of pause, leaving the ponies to stare at the scene and Luna to contemplate what was going on. He is a blasphemer, the orange gnome shouted. My brothers, we must spit on him. A few of the gnomes approached him, concerned. My brother, you must stop with the screaming so loud, it will kill your spitting box. But I like to scream, it is the way. He turned to face the chandelier gnome and narrowed his eyes. Spit on him! While the others all jumped towards the chandelier to spit on the traitor, the orange one waddled up to Luna, who had landed on the second floor closest to bunching of gnomes. She had almost tripped on the red carpet with floral patterns adorning the floor.
That was close,
Luna sighed. My queen, you must show us the way. The orange creature begged her. Luna tried processing what she just heard, but all she came up with were weird faces.
What are you talking about?
We must fight the penguins. They kill our queen. The whole horde started spitting in response, interrupting their attack of the non-believer. Celestia pushed two wooden doors open and slowly walked forward, noticing the little creatures all around the entrance of her castle.
Sister?
She spoke with a wary tone.
What is this?
Look, one of the blue gnomes started. It is the queen. The queen? They all looked back and forth between Celestia and Luna, seemingly confused, with many scratching their heads. There cannot be two queens. The white one is the imposter. Spit on her! The group joined up to start spitting at Celestia, drenching her in tiny gnome saliva and angering the mayor. They even started throwing their brothers at the mayor, creating a squeaking sound on impact. The angered alicorn's horn glowed a bright yellow, engulfing the white walls and black tiles as easily as the staff and paintings on the wall. It was bright enough that it prevented any light from passing through the high-mounted windows, and instead emitted light to the outside. The gnomes outside the castle walls were stunned and blinded by the effect. When the light faded, the tiny creatures were no more, and Luna heaved a sigh of disappointment at their loss. Celestia turned to her sister and glared at her.
What exactly was that?
Luna shrugged.
I guess it was,
she smirked.
the way.